I'm a Durbanite. I love some good spice. Taj Mahal and what's this thing, Raja, are not even really considered spice. I like some muddy and low curry powder. You know what? Like I like flavored food. So I was like, what do you mean spice? What is up, everyone? Welcome to another video. If it's your first time, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, how's it? What kind? In today's video, I know I've did one similar to this. I'll put it on the screen. This is like one of my first videos. But I'm going to be talking, because I've been here for like 2 years now, I'm going to be talking about weird questions Americans ask me. So in my first video, I spoke about like the typical lion and like how did you get here? Did you fly here? I answered all those. But now it's 2 years later and I still get pretty interesting questions. I think the funniest one well, it's not funny, but it always shocks me is when I get ones relating to American history. I'm like, dude, it's your country. You probably learned this in school. How are you gonna ask me when you know it's an American history or it's only happening in America? I am gonna tell you guys stuff that has been told to me, or even just stuff that, like, questions I've been asked. Let's get into it. The first one, this took me by surprise. I was like, I was at a Thanksgiving lunch and this guy asked me, what do we eat for Thanksgiving? And so I was like, what? What do you mean, what do we eat for Thanksgiving? I was literally like, what do you mean, what do we eat for Thanksgiving? I even said, I was like, I'm not American, because it was like the first time meeting the guy, and I was like, I'm not American. And they're like, yeah, you're from South Africa. What do you guys eat for Thanksgiving? And I was like, Thanksgiving is an American holiday. It's not like a global or a world holiday thing. And they're like, oh, so you guys don't celebrate Thanksgiving? And I was like, no, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving. My next one was actually when I was getting my phone. I was at a mall and this guy was like, what's your African name? And I was like, my name's Angel. And he's like, no, but like, you're from South Africa, so what's your African name? And I had to explain to him that I don't have an African name, and I had to explain to him that some people, like if you're Zulu, you'll get a Zulu name, if you're Xhosa, you get a Xhosa name, like that kind of stuff. And he's like, so not everyone in Africa has an African name? And I was like, what specifically is an African name? Because if you said what's your Zulu name, it would have been easy. But he's like, no, everyone has an African name. And I was like, no, Trevor Noah doesn't have an African name, Charlize Theron doesn't have an African name, so and he's like, oh wow, I thought you have an African name, you know, because you're black. And I was like, and my race, we'll get into that too after this. Number 3. Oh my gosh, number 3. I feel like this guy was also just drunk, because it was when I was turning up. This guy was like, is it strange wearing shoes? I was literally like, yeah, I always get caught off guard because I will forget, like life will happen and then these random questions come, and this guy was like, I was like, what do you mean is it strange wearing shoes? He's like, yeah, no, in Africa I heard they don't wear shoes, like everyone just walks around barefoot. And I was like, people do walk around barefoot, but at the same time we do have shoes, we do wear shoes. We are like, I was just like, there's so many things on TV. There was a World Cup. There's like Trevor Noah, Charlize Theron. Once again, there's so many things that happened in South Africa in general for us to show that we have shoes. How do we play sports without shoes? But I was like, it was one of those moments where I was like, do I just laugh at him or do I teach him and educate him? So I was like, no, my friend, we wear shoes. Like, I know it's more popular for kids in South Africa to not wear shoes when they play outside. And I was like, yeah, I didn't wear shoes when I was playing outside when I was young. But we had shoes. Like, it's not to say we didn't have shoes. We had shoes. We just would play outside without shoes on or that kind of stuff. Or if we did, we did. It was an option. It's not like we don't have it at all. The next question, I actually got it from an elderly man. I recently got this one. This one's probably like, what, 2 months old or a month old. This guy, I was at the park. It was like a social gathering, whatever. And this elderly man, I was talking to him and he heard my accent. And as usual, I always get, oh, where are you from? Can you hear accent? And so I said, South Africa. And then he said to me, how are you finding it living in America with all the gadgets that we have, like stoves and microwaves and dishwashers? And I was like, I literally was just like, So I said to him, like, are you talking just specifically about the gadgets or are you talking about overall? It's like, no, how are you adjusting? Like, have people show you how to use these things? Is it strange for you to have a stove and a microwave and all these things? And I was like, we have that. Literally, I had to be like, and I had to try not to laugh because I was like, are you joking me? Like, are you joking? I'm still like, I prefer low-key, I'm like, listen, I prefer the lion stuff because I'm like, that's what they show you guys on TV. But the stoves and the microwave, actually no, I don't prefer any. No, it's all just do your research, people. So I had to once again tell the guy like, no, we have stoves, we have dishwashers, we have microwaves. So I've adjusted pretty well. I was like, you know, coming from there to here is not a big switch. Like, we know what everything is. And he was like, oh wow, really? You guys have the exact same thing like us? And I was like, we have the same brand. It may not be the exact same microwave, but the buttons are very similar. You guys have on, we have on. You guys have start, we have start. And so it was like stuff like that where I had to like hold myself, because also as an elderly person, I'm trying not to be rude, but at the same time I was just like, dear Lord Jesus. Last one, this was actually asked to me. I was at a church and we were all talking in a group about just food because there was a lot of us from different countries, and they asked me like, oh my gosh, do you guys have spice in South Africa? And I was like, what do you mean spice? Now take note, I'm a Durbanite. I love some good spice. Taj Mahal and what's the thing, Raja are not even really considered spice. I like some muddy and low curry powder, you know what, like I like flavored food. So I was like, what do you mean spice? And they're like, no, like, do you guys have like hot sauce? Do you guys have all these things? And I was like, my friends, Nando's is from South Africa. Like, that should tell you that we have some good food. And I was like, no, we have spice and we love spice. And I had to explain to them like what type of spice. I even started like googling like what a bunny chow looks like and all these things. And they're like, no, but like, do you guys eat it spicy or is it just like salt and pepper? And I was like, us, salt and pepper? Nah, fam. But yeah, these are the questions that I've got so far 2 years later. I'm excited to see. I probably have gotten more, but these are the ones I can think of at the top of my head. What are the questions, like if you guys are in America, what questions do you guys usually get? Comment down below. I'd love to hear you guys' questions. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Do not forget to subscribe. Bye.